Oh, there's a sight for sore eyes. It's a car other than an Alpha in my area. It's like the first time in more than 2 years that a different car other than a Milano has been sitting here. So, what's going wrong with this thing now? Well, that's the front subframe crossmember bit. There's a half taken apart engine bay, and a transmission hanging on by a thread there, ready to come off. I'm hopefully going to remove that transmission without touching that CV axle, because I just literally put that in last time I drove this car. What went wrong? Well, as you can see, this gearbox came from an auto wrecker. The original one absolutely exploded years ago when I was down in California. I was reversing up a long hill, and reverse just completely shattered on it. The little bits and pieces just slowly ate it to death, and then it exploded one day. I got this auto wrecker unit with low miles, put it in the car, and because it was such low miles, I just basically slapped a new clutch on it, resurfaced the flywheel, new pressure plate and everything, slammed it back together, and was thinking, oh, this is going to be great. Well, nope, not with Saab. The fucking reverse gear in this thing's dead too. But actually, that's not what I'm fixing today, because I'm going to go through all the work of removing this transmission and putting it back in the car once I'm done this job, and the reverse is still going to be screwed, because quite frankly, I cannot find a transmission for my 92 2.3 full pressure turbo. It's kind of a hard, rare sort of to find transmission, because it's the high performance engine, blah blah blah. It's a long story. So, because it was so low miles, I didn't think of to replace the clutch slave cylinder. So I've been topping up the clutch on like a weekly basis for the last 3 years on this bloody car. I literally had a plastic bag with brake fluid stuffed behind the headlight, always, so that every day when I started driving it after work or what have you, I would go check the level before I could even start driving it. So finally, it's gotten to the point where I'm just sick and tired of doing that. I'm going to pull the transmission first, because I don't know which of the two slave cylinders this thing takes. Because this is a transition year, it's a 92, so who the heck knows, because I don't remember, it was 3 years ago. So I will take the transmission off, see what it is, order the parts, and then while I'm ordering parts, I'm going to fix this bloody throttle cable, which as you can see is not doing so hot anymore, and is so stiff in the way it operates, because I converted this car from using an automatic, because this used to be a traction control car. As you can see, I've crossed out the TCS on there. I've de-TCS'd my 9000, and because of that, it's kind of got a mismatch, weird parts and stuff, and one of the weird parts is this throttle cable, so I may have to like get a new throttle body with the different end, because that's the end that's normally on the auto. So we'll figure that out. Nevertheless, I want a new throttle cable. I want a new clutch slave cylinder. I don't want to have to refill fluid every 2 days. So, yeah. Just about ready to pull it now. Everything is out of the way. As you can see, the store frame is being taken out. So, yeah, she's ready to basically bring over the engine hoist so it can hold up the transmission for me while I slide it off and then lower it to the ground. So, hopefully not too hard, and hopefully I don't drop a transmission on myself. But, yeah, kind of annoying. Anyway.